Well, welcome to another edition of What's So Funny, the show that probes the minds, the psyches, the brains, and the psyches of the people who make the funny. Tonight's guest comes all the way from Granville Street, where we kidnapped him and have forced him to be a guest on the show. Mr. Kyle Cease graces us with his presence fresh off his much ballyhooed appearances at the Vancouver Comedy Fest. And now, a man fresh off his appearance at his high school reunion, Mr. Guy McPherson.
Thank you, Kevin Smith. Yes, fresh off my 25-year high school reunion. Yes, I am old. 25 years. My God. And we got a young tyke in here as our guest, one of the rising stars of comedy.
Wow, thank you.
Kyle Cease. And Kevin said that you're from Granville Street. Of course you're not. You're from the USA.
My mistake. I thought that's where you were from.
No, I am.
That's where I saw you.
Actually, well, I was born on Hastings Street and then moved over to Granville.
Okay. My mistake.
During the war. Just to get out of things.
But we should explain how that happened. We were at a show. We were at the Comics of the Late show.
Oh, and wasn't it good?
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Kevin Fox hosting. Have you seen Kevin before?
Oh, yeah. He's a buddy of mine. He was fantastic.
Really?
He's a great comic, yeah.
You don't live here.
I'm originally from Seattle, and so there's kind of a close connection. I started when I was 12 years old. And
stand-up?
Yeah, I did. And Kevin, I met when I was doing giggles in Seattle quite a while ago, and I think he's great. It was very fun. And
he's great, yeah. And then we open up with Eddie Brill.
Eddie Brill.
Who is the booker for the Letterman show. And
yes.
Of course, he's there in case they ever need a guest.
He's
probably
very cool.
done it.
He emceed last night. We had the Best of the Fest show, too. And
Eddie Brill
I was thrilled to be a part of that. Yeah, he emceed it and was awesome. Very good. That was such a fun time, man. Vancouver is awesome when it comes to comedy. They know what they're doing. Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Well, there's a level of intelligence.
You've traveled all over the state.
That's the thing. Yeah. Last year, by the way, I did 180 colleges.
Wow.
And they were all just, and of course, they were all in different cities. Like, it'd be like Monday night, Seattle, Tuesday night, Florida, Wednesday, Cuba. You know, it was just like.
Yeah, there aren't 180 colleges in one city.
Yeah, no. But they didn't book me in any tour type. I would just be on, 4 or 5 connection flights every single day. And I'd average like an hour to 2 hours of sleep a night. It was ridiculous. But and it's funny, by the way, too, in the States, all the colleges even the huge universities, they'll put them in the middle of nowhere. It's so weird. Like, they'll tell these kids, don't drink, don't do drugs, don't have sex, and they make it so they have to. It's like
there's nothing else to do.
It's like their choices are Walmart or Susie, and it's like, both are always open. I apologize for that joke right off the bat. There will be better ones coming.
Excellent.
That's a funny thing about, I don't know if your Walmarts are open out here 24 hours, but in the States, they're open 24 hours, because I don't know how often I wake up at 4 in the morning going, right now I need to watch a candy bar and an alligator pool. Is there anywhere that has all 3 of those? There's only one fun thing to do at Walmart, and that's watch obese women beat the shit out of their kids. That's the only fun thing to do at Walmart. No, it's a good time. But I did this tour last year, and you get to some areas and mainly redder states.
Now, explain that for the Canadian audiences.
Yeah, it's basically more Republican. And if you're Republican and you're listening, I'll do a joke for you, too. Let's invade crap. I'm just kidding. They're fun. I own like 4 Republicans in case like 3 of them break down. But no, they're a lot of fun. I love performing everywhere, no matter what. But I do find that I have a different style act for different areas. The more NASCAR driven the area, the more I have to do wacky stuff like fall down, because that's so clever. But out here you can do intelligent stuff. Like, I have jokes that I like to say that I enjoy myself, but sometimes you have to dumb your stuff up. Like, here's a joke I said the other day and they didn't get it. I said, have you ever had it when you're on the phone and you have to spell out your name? Like, oh, my name's Kyle. K as in Kyle, Y as in Isle. And then I said, how come we never do that with numbers? Like, hey, what's your phone number? It's like, oh, it's 9 as in 947, 1 as in 16, 3 as in pi.
And are you saying that joke didn't go over?
No. It goes over a lot of times, but I did that joke 4 days ago at a community college in Dayton, Ohio, America, and they were like, pie is delicious. Do you have pie? I love a delicious pie. And I didn't have pie for them. I was like, I don't have pie. And they were like, but you said you have 3 pies. I was like, no, I didn't. I said 3 as in pie. And they're like, I'm really hungry. And you always will be. And that was my dialogue with the people at the community college. But no, it's a lot of
So
fun.
it's just a different level of intelligence. You're not
just-
saying they're stupid.
I'm not saying it's
just
stupid.
different.
I think there's just different comics for different styles. I know that in America, that we have this thing called the Blue Collar Comedy Tour, which is comics like Jeff Foxworthy and those guys. I think they're great at what they do. They're not my style. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, what is your style?
For me, I would say my style would be kind of comparative to maybe if you took famous comics, if maybe 70s Steve Martin and maybe Ellen DeGeneres when she's doing her stand-up, not when she's doing the show. I don't dance for a week. But like, those comics, maybe, I don't know, just I try to with my act, try to have something to say, but also I want it to be funny too. My goal is to connect with the audience on a personal level, maybe have them leave being like, man, I want to hang out with that guy. He was a cool guy. You know what I mean?
That's good that's one of your goals is to try to be funny. Not enough comics have that.
Not enough. Yeah. My goal, that's my main goal actually, is just be funny or perform into a microphone.
On a serious note though, some comics their message is more important than the jokes.
And I don't want that too. I want you to leave happy and laughing, but I want to have something to say too. I think that, although that's not true, even there's times where I'll even say something that's just an observation on it. Like one of my biggest jokes that I love to do is I talk about Sunny Delight, because I don't know if you remember their commercials, but Sunny Delight had the best commercial campaign ever. If you haven't seen it, you're shaking your head. No, Sunny Delight's commercials were awesome because it'd be 3 kids in the backyard, and then one of them's like, "What do you got to drink in the fridge?" Like so excited about the crappy fridge, and then they go to the fridge and he'd be like, well, we got some soda, some purple stuff, Sunny D. And if you haven't seen the commercial, the choices were Brand X soda, some purple crap that they can't even identify, and then Sunny D's behind it in the back of the fridge. And if those are your choices, of course you're going to pick Sunny D. That doesn't mean it's a good drink. If you came to my house and you're like, what do you got to drink? And I'm like, well, we got some ketchup, some gravy, my grandma's piss, Sunny D. You'd be like, is there any lead in your water? Because I hate all 4 of those things. In fact, that should have been Sunny Delight's slogan, Sunny D, for when your choices are even shittier than Sunny D. Because I don't know if you remember, if you've ever had Sunny Delight.
Oh, yeah, it gets that stuff in the back of your throat for all day. You can't get it out.
Yeah, it just hurts your jaw, and it tastes kind of like a fat clown's asshole. Like, it's a terrible drink. I don't know.
Kevin would know about that.
The obvious joke there. How do you know what a fat clown's asshole tastes like?
Actually, I was at a festival that had that. There was just different samples of fat clown's assholes. I don't know if you've ever had
one of those Jim Rose things?
Yeah. Yeah, he was mainly there. It's just actually a lineup of politicians. Hey, I wish you guys had a drum.
We do. I'll get the sound effects going. I'll just hook it up here for you.
Yeah, that's cool. That'll be cool.
Yeah, we don't actually.
No, there's a loose wire.
You're explaining that you don't have it. I'm like, oh, okay, that's why I haven't heard it yet. Okay,
I want one of those dingers though. Like the Steve Allen dingers on the desk.
That's what's nice about you guys. You have you're not all wacky. You know how annoying it is to be on some morning shows in LA and they're like, "Hey, Kyle," and it's like, "Hey," and I can't even say a word without hearing wow. I'm like, come on, I haven't even said my joke yet.
Another thing that might be off-putting to you, but I don't want it to be off-putting, is that a lot of these morning zoo type shows, right? You got a room full of people laughing their heads off. I'm not a big laugher, so
I noticed that, and it's kind of nice because it's like more real. Like they'll just sit there, and sometimes you see these guys dying laughing while they're writing crap down. I'm like, yeah, you're really into it. It's just like you're on autopilot. And sometimes they'll go to, and the worst thing is when they go to a song or a commercial in the middle of a bit. Like, I'll never forget. I'll be like, yeah, and it's like, you go to the fridge, it's like, well, we got some soda, some purple stuff, Sunny D. I haven't done the punchline yet. And they're like, all right, we're going to be back with more Kyle Cease right after this P. Diddy song. P. Diddy coming at you. And I love rap too, by the way. I like how Puff Daddy, like, now he takes like 80s hit songs and raps over it. It's like trying to listen to David Bowie's Let's Dance, but with an annoying friend in the car.
Just yakking.
Yeah, if you say run, I'll run with you. I'm going to kill you, bitch. Shut up. That's how I drive.
You're comparing yourself to famous comics.
That sounds cocky.
No,
if you take that quote. Yeah, I spent the whole time comparing himself to legends.
For people who don't know your style, I was asking how you describe yourself. How about this? Yeah, I don't want you to take it as an insult because I really like him as a stand-up.
Who?
Bob Saget.
Bob Saget. That's who you found? Someone? I might know what you're talking about here.
Well, he all these thoughts come into his head, or we're
now,
led to believe.
The people are thinking you mean when he's like America's Funniest Videos, and that's different. But Bob Saget is he can be a good comic. I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
No segues, like you.
No segues, and he'll go off on tangents during the setup.
Exactly. So,
yeah. I know exactly what you're talking. I think Jake Johansson does that too, and I've been told Jake Johansson
Really?
Several times.
That is another comic we saw tonight. We got off on a tangent there.
Oh yeah,
Jake,
see, that's because tangents. We forgot to mention
Jake Johansson came on after Eddie Brill was brilliant, and I'd never seen Jake Johansson.
He was brilliant.
Before.
Eddie Brill was.
No, Jake Johansson was brilliant.
Oh. But
Eddie
if
Brill
you take
was
Brill,
really good.
Jake Johansson was Johanssonient.
He was Jake.
Tip your wait staff. Jake Johansson is a genius. He's a very, very funny comic. He's always been one of my favorites since I was a little kid.
How many years has he been doing it? 20?
I don't know, at least 20.
And he looks very young.
Yeah, doesn't he? He like never ages. Because I've seen him in the early 80s do stand-up. Like I've seen footage of him. Yeah, one of my favorite Jake Johansson jokes was he said, people always say guns don't kill people, and they're right. It's the bullets. He goes, you try to, but the gun helps because you can't like rob a convenience store and be like holding a bunch of bullets. Give me all your money. But I thought he was awesome. He was my favorite of the three, but also Jim Gaffigan was a genius too.
Well, then Jim Gaffigan closed things up after an intermission and killed. Well, everybody did really well.
Yeah. That intermission was unnecessary.
You think so?
Like I hate that. I've had that when I'm closing out and they'll have like a lineup of people and then it's like the crowd's so ready to go. It's like, hey, why don't you go get in a line?
Go
get
chill out.
pissed off.
Yeah.
We're going to rewarm you up poorly.
Well, and I found that sometimes large groups of the audience were getting up when one comic was done. And then Kevin Fox would bring up the next comic, so they'd miss 5 minutes
They'd
or
miss
so
the opening act of each one.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, no. It was
People are stupid, aren't they?
I know. Well, a lot of people are, mainly my family.
So getting back to the Canadian audiences, you
but
like
there's
them
an
here?
intelligence
or
level.
are you just saying in
Okay,
Vancouver? You've been all over Canada, have you?
I have not actually done too much Canada. I've done a lot of the States. I've done Hong Kong and Vancouver, and then a few other foreign areas. But I think that Vancouver, there's an intelligence level. I like the open-minded, liberal-minded, and that's, I don't mean like literally liberal Republican. I just mean like, very
small L.
Very, very, very good time. Just, you can say, like, what I have a lineup of weird jokes that I think is kind of an alternative style that I'm always scared to do when I'm in certain areas, and I can do them here. One of them would be a good example. Tell me if you like this joke. I saw Hulk Hogan the other day, and I couldn't tell if it was Hulk Hogan or not, and I realized I've never had that problem before. I've always been able to tell immediately when looking at anybody if they are or are not Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
Like that.
Like
that's
it.
a weird joke,
Yeah.
One of my favorite ones I've ever written, which always bombs, but this is my favorite joke. I hate people on Halloween. They don't carve their pumpkins out. They'll just paint a face on it. But some people won't even do that. They'll paint a face, but it won't even be on a pumpkin. It'll be like on a piece of paper. But some people won't even do that. They'll take like a bunch of words and put that on a piece of paper, and it'll be like an essay on Ben Franklin or something. And then they'll hand it in at their school, and it won't even be Halloween. And it's like, nice jack-o'-lantern, asshole. See, you guys liked it. That's good. That's what I'm saying. You do that joke in Dayton, Ohio, and they're like, no, I don't
follow.
You talk about NASCAR, and I like country.
Now, a lot of comics exaggerate about the West, I think. They've got NASCAR and yippee-yahoo, but it can't really be that bad, can it?
Well, I mean, there are areas where I, on tour last year, saw the Confederate flag quite a bit, which is a very... I mean, come on. You know
Get over it.
And there are places where they don't refer to the homosexual community as gays or homosexual. They, go straight for the F word and the N word for African Americans, or, it's just amazing to me.
Really?
There's areas where it's definitely, there's a lot of, and then it's always followed with, you ever watched a Jeff Foxworthy? That's a funny guy. And I'm like, well, he's good at his job.
He
marketing to people like you.
He does well.
Bush
you
supporters.
can always use that one. He does well.
He does well. Jeff Foxworthy does a great job. Go ahead.
No, you're living in L.A. now?
I live in L.A., as I said, originally from Seattle, which was awesome. And then I've lived in LA for 6 years now. I started doing stand-up in Seattle at 12, and then when I was 19 or 20, I booked my first movie, and capitalized on that, by when that came out, moving to LA. I don't know if you heard of 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh, yes, I've heard of it. Didn't see it, but
Okay.
I heard of it.
Yeah, I was lucky. I got like a part that shot for 6 weeks in that movie.
Wow.
If anyone's listening, it was Bogey Lowenstein, if anyone's seen it, which is the nerdy kid. My agent called me and it's like, hey, we got a part for a total nerd. I'm like, thanks for thinking of me right off the bat. Get to the audition, there's like 200 of the nerdiest freaks I've ever seen in my life.
And you won out.
I know, I'm thinking someone here's going to be nerdier than me, So I got the part, which is a good sign. right there. But no, I shot that, and that was exciting. I moved to L.A. and then booked a film, Not Another Teen Movie.
I saw that, and I really liked it.
Thank you.
I mean, that was really well done. You go in thinking, I think I had free tickets, actually. You go in thinking,
no one's paid to see that.
This is going to be
Even I had free. I was like, I'm in it, but I don't.
thought for what it was really well done, really funny.
Do you know who I am in it?
You're the slow clapper.
That's right. I'm telling you, just not because of me. That when I saw that in the script, I was like, this is the funniest thing in the world. I want this so bad. And people come up to me 10 times a day and do the slow clap to me, which I don't know how to respond to.
Yeah.
And they'd be like going up to Muhammad Ali and putting up your dukes. Like he's like, yeah, I remember. I used to fight. You're right. Or going up to a porn star and having sex in front of her. You know what I mean? Or like Lee Harvey Oswald and getting shot in front of him.
Yeah. Now you're just getting weird.
Just be like, oh, you know how you do this? That's funny.
It is.
I am very funny.
How many weeks were you on that? Because you were you were throughout the film.
Well, you shoot a movie by location. So they do the whole thing in one location, another thing in another location. And I shot at the, so I was in 3 different places. So I got to shoot for I don't remember, it was like 8 or 9 weeks or something like that. Ridiculous. But they just put you on hold all these dates, but they still pay you, which is great.
That is the best.
Yeah.
It's all waiting around, isn't it, in the film?
Yeah, it's pretty much quite a bit, which is great too. That's the other. It just puts you in this alternate reality of being in a trailer with, an Xbox and a PlayStation. If they want to make me happy, they should have put the original Nintendo in there.
Yeah, you're a video game guy, aren't you?
Well, mainly the original
I'm too old
Nintendo.
for that. I remember Pong, seriously.
Yeah,
and that's not a bad thing.
Remember Pong came out and people were like, look at the graphics on this. This ball is almost not squarish. This is so... one of my biggest bits is on the original Nintendo. I talk about how it came broken. Because I don't know if you had the original Nintendo. Why do I feel like you did? Did you have the original Nintendo?
Because he's wearing a ball cap and a hoodie, maybe?
I don't know.
I don't know what Nintendo is. What is Nintendo?
Oh.
Yes, he does.
No. Well, did you have one?
Some of that more special Kevin humor.
The original Nintendo?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I'm like 21, dude. Come on.
Yeah, of course you did then. Well, then like me, that the thing came broken, right?
Sure.
Because you'd be blowing into the thing all day. And only you could fix your own Nintendo for some reason.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, there's people laughing in a college dorm right now, trust me. And my favorite part of Nintendo was the codes. We had codes that got us the end of the game immediately. I don't know why can't we have that in real life. Just once I like to be on a date with a chick, and when she starts talking about her cats, and she's like, and this cat likes corn, and this one can fight gravity, and this one has diarrhea, I can be like, up, down, left, right, BA, select, start, and I'm fucking her. No more cats. You're now cat-free. You're Gilbert cat-free. I'm just kidding. His name's Gilbert Godfrey.
Hey, where's Gilbert Godfrey in this?
That's a Bob Saget type tangent. Right
yeah,
there.
right.
You're right.
There.
That's
See?
totally.
See?
Yeah.
But yeah, the Nintendo thing over our heads, our old man heads. But yeah, you're right. People laughing all over right now.
Yeah. No, that's one of my biggest bits. I when I came up with that, it's just my career kind of like. It was like, hey, we have an identity. It was like a voice. It was my generation.
Now I can do 180 colleges in 4 days.
It's I performed at a convention where the colleges go to, and I went on with Nintendo, and actually it had a standing O before it was done. Like they were so into it's very nostalgic for us now to talk about that kind of stuff. You might notice people were wearing shirts that say Back to the Future and original Nintendo, and we're getting that. It's weird that we have our own generation too.
How old are you?
I'm 28. I just turned 28 like 3 days or September 19th, so about a week ago.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. And
sincere.
It's always funny to me, by the way, when people act like their birthdays are a coincidence with other people's and they never are. Like, when's your birthday?
August 22nd.
August 22nd. That's so weird. Mine's September 19th.
Wow.
What are you, a Virgo? I'm an astronaut. Those are both things. Why don't we ever hang out? And my friend called me the other day that has that. He's so excited about coincidences, and he calls me up, and he by the way had applied at a video store and called me to let me know he had put me down as a reference. I guess to give me the big heads up in case Blockbuster Video calls, Why do people do that? Like, I'm not going to know what the hell to do. Hey, this is Blockbuster Video. Do you think Steve would be a good guy to hire? No! Pff, I wish I'd been warned. This is bullshit. I need a heads up. Why are you allowed to put your friends down as a reference? They'll always have your back.
Yeah.
You should put your enemies down. That'd be such a better phone call, wouldn't it?
Or strangers, yeah.
Yeah, just anybody. Hey, do you think Kyle would be a good guy to hire? Yeah, if you want him to fuck your wife. If you're running a dog murdering company, I absolutely recommend Kyle. He seems to be great at that shit.
And Kyle Cease is our guest this week. The show's What's So Funny. I'm Guy McPherson. Kyle performed here all week at the Can West Comedy Festival in beautiful downtown.
So if you have a time machine, come check out the show.
Can West.
It's going to be a good time.
British Columbia. Yeah, you're gone, right? I was surprised. I send out a reminder every week to my legions of fans here, saying who the guest is going to be. I left this open because I thought, I'm going to get somebody. And turns out most of the comics had left. I mean, I get the Vancouver comics all the time. So
well, see, my girlfriend lives here, so I'm staying here a few extra days and hanging out.
Yeah, and so we were leaving the show tonight at the Vogue. I see you walking out. I make one comment. Bang, you're on the show. That's the power I wield in this town.
Yeah, no, and I'm thrilled to be here. It's very nice.
A lot of times we have guests here, and we play the comedy clips to break it up because, frankly, I don't have a lot to say to them. And I don't think we need any comedy clips tonight, but we're going to do it anyway because it's kind of tradition. Kyle,
okay,
so you don't mind?
So is it? It's like other comics.
Other comics, not you.
It's Jeff Foxworthy and Bob Saget.
Jeff
it's just a callback. It'd be funny. You know, it'd be cool is if you played clips from this interview earlier.
That would be good if we had the technology.
And now we're back. Hey, the original Nintendo just came broken. All right, we're here with Kyle Cease. Hey, how's it going? It's totally confusing.
Incidentally, what's your website?
Oh, www.kylecease.com, and it's KYLECEASE.com. Cease is spelled like if you'd spell ceasefire. But now people are going to look up Kyle Ceasefire because people don't understand how to do things. Kylecease.com, which is, it's exciting, yeah.
K as in Kyle.
K as in Kyle, Y as in Isle. No, definitely.
And so people can hear your comedy there because we don't have any CDs.
Yeah, there's a lot of clips on that. Actually, yeah, we've been recording this, and my interview here will be on my website if you go on there right now.
Excellent. Well, have you done any of the American
I just shot
shows?
my. Actually, you know, it's funny. I've been doing stand-up for so long, but had been doing more touring and stuff. I hadn't done a lot, but I just shot my first premium blend on Comedy Central.
Oh, great.
It was unbelievable. I've never put more pressure onto a 7-minute set in my life, but I thought about it every minute of my life for 3 months, and then
7-minute set.
It's a 7-minute set, but now it opens the door for everything because it's kind of like that break. It's kind of like it's a way lesser equivalent, but it's the equivalent of in the 80s when a comic would go on Carson and then suddenly get the TV show kind of thing.
Well, you have so much material and your mind works so quickly. How do you decide what do I put in 7 minutes?
You know what's funny for me? Comedy is very hard when you only have 7 minutes because you have to really compact. You have to do a lot of times when I do shows. I'll never forget. I did a contest one time, and the beginning of the contest for the beginning of the week was all these comics would go, and we'd all do 5 minutes. And it was very, very hard for the headliners to win over the brand new comics who only had 5 minutes because they were rehearsed on how to do this 5 minutes beautifully. But my act, I have callbacks to jokes that I've done 20 minutes before.
Right.
And it was very complicated. For me, I would have to write out my jokes and be like, okay, how do I do this 7-minute set beautifully? So I opened with Nintendo, and then I had to. And you can't have the fun of spontaneity. Why I'm having fun here is because we're talking about whatever. A lot of times, sometimes radio stations will be like, what joke you're going to set me up? And it's not as fun because I'm not into it as much because it's like, okay, now you need to say this, and then I say this.
Yeah. Even talk shows are like that.
Riffing.
TV, right?
Yeah. And this TV show was very difficult for me because you have to tell them exactly what joke you're going to do, and then you have to change the stuff too because like Nintendo is a sponsor, so like I can't say the Nintendo came broken, you'd be blowing into it. I had to rephrase it to the Nintendo was so great that it was the only system that if you didn't get it to work, you'd blow into it and fixed it. And I had to rephrase all this stuff. It was really interesting to do because I'd have to rewrite everything, and because everything is a sponsor apparently.
That's not right.
I know, but you know what? It worked out fine, and it taught me a lesson on how to be able to do this. And I had one of the best sets of my life that night. It was fantastic.
You also said you had one of the best sets of your life at the Vogue last night,
which is exciting to me.
That's
true,
miss
both
because of my reunion. But tell me about it.
Well, I don't know. I just first of all, I also got the call that I was doing this Best of the Fest show in the middle of the day yesterday, so I didn't have 3 months to worry about it.
That's always good.
Yeah, that was great. And I just went backstage and I was like, all right, cool. I've done so many shows. I've had to have done at least 2,000 or 3,000 shows. I mean, like so many shows since I was like, for 16 years now. And I find that when you have all this pressure, my manager told me about this show, the Premium Blend, like 3 months before, and he said to me, just so you know, if you do good on this show, it's the difference, or you do bad. It's the difference between moving into a mansion or a box. I mean, like it was just, and suddenly all this pressure is applied. Imagine if someone told you, hey, on December 14th, if you get 8 hours of sleep, I'm going to give you $1 million. And if you get 2 hours of sleep, I'm going to kill you. You know what? On December 13th, you're not going to be feeling too good, and you're going to not fall asleep. It's so weird. There's too much pressure.
Be dead. Yeah.
You'd be, yeah. And that's what happens to me. It's like when I go do a show at a bar, and they're like, hey, you want to go up? I'm like, hell yeah, I'm going to go fuck around. No big deal. But this was all this pressure. Last night was fantastic.
Well, because there's no pressure, because it's just in Vancouver.
It's just in Vancouver, and
televised.
I'm now to the point after Premium Blend, I'm like, I can handle anything. Put me on anything.
Yeah.
Because I'm just so ready to go. I've taught myself a lot and learned all this stuff. I don't want to be like a motivational speaker, but I figured out like, man, if you worry about something and you're sitting there going, I hope this doesn't happen, I hope this doesn't happen. If instead you spend your time saying, I hope that this does happen, because when we say I hope this doesn't happen, we start to really visualize it happening. When you're saying like, oh, I hope I don't forget my material, or I hope I don't faint when I go up there, you start to like get this very vivid vision of that. But if you go on and you're like, I hope that I kill so hard, your mind is now distracted with those images and it becomes more and more realistic. And that's what kind of hypnosis is, when people are like visualizing this thing so strongly that it becomes realistic, and it gives you a new form of confidence. So last night I went out and I just only pictured myself killing and doing really well. And it was fantastic. I walked off the stage, just stomach ache. I was so happy.
That's inspirational.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be like a motivational speaker. And I hate the people that came to our high school or elementary school assemblies and the anti-drug. That worked out really well, didn't it? No one does drugs now. Great job, Dare. No, I'm not trying to be like that. But I had, like, in the last few months, kind of learned a lot about the way we think and how I'd heard there was a study that if you had two guys with a terminal cancer, let's say, and the doctor told one of them that he was doomed in 6 months, but he told the other guy, they had the exact same level of cancer, he tells the other guy that he's going to be fine. Mm-hmm. That guy will have a way better shot because his body believes it, and like this immune system kicks in. But when the other one's terminal or thinks he is, your body actually shuts down. And so I've just been studying all this stuff lately about.
Sounds like quackery to me, Kyle C.
Yeah, I apologize for this. This isn't funny at all. I'll go for my tangents. That. Anyway, what's with Pillsbury Doughboy? That guy's crazy.
How has you've been doing this for 16 years? Hard to believe you're only 28 years old.
It's not like when I was 12 I was working the circuit, but like I started doing clubs when I was 12, a little 15. I was like a feature middle act around different, sometimes bars. There were certain bars that would let you in.
In Seattle.
And I don't know what I'm going to do. You know, hey, don't you hate when you go in the sandbox and it's wet sand? It's like, what the fuck's this? I'm used to dry, bitch.
No, but how has your style changed since you were 12 and 15 years old?
Well, for instance, I'm able to go off on tangents and tell you stuff that I actually believe in, like this. Like, I would have just been like, hey, I remember up till I was 12 just doing jokes about elementary school and then having to go to clubs, and all my act was elementary school jokes and stuff. And I had some good stuff. I would be like, I miss recess. I started saying when I was in junior high, I was like, don't you guys miss recess? I feel like as we get older, we should have recess. Now that we have like wars and visa bills, we should have 15 minutes on the slide every day. Yeah. You go outside to play a game of Red Rover and the girls would be like, boys against girls, which sounded okay. And then you go outside and at that age, all the guys were 4'2", and all the girls were like 6'10", right? And it got brutal because Susie just got her first period and she's pissed, you know, and you got into the battle of the century. You go to the school nurse's office, and elementary school had the shittiest doctors ever. You could go in there on fire and the lady would be like, well, I can't give you any aspirin. Try lying down on the uncomfortable cot for 10 minutes. Don't worry, I'll give you I'll give you a shitty brown paper towel for your forehead. And remember those brown chemistry class welfare paper towels that we got that were actually water repellent? You know, you couldn't pick water up. You just push it around the table all day till it fell off, which was kind of...
Hey, now it's the Dane Cook kind of reminiscences of when you're younger. I guess
Dane Cook is a very good friend of mine. Yeah, I think that's a comparable thing. Dane Cook, I've gotten Dane Cook before, like a similar style as him.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the Nintendo in elementary school and things that everyone could relate to because we all grew up.
I like to
some
be
of
relatable.
Us in the same era, others different era.
My goal is to do stand-up in where everyone can leave laughing, but also the comics like me too. And
that's always important to a comic,
and
isn't it?
That's hard to do.
Yeah,
because I don't know if, like, you know, there's comics that are so funny to other comics, but the crowd will be like, I don't know what the hell he was talking about, and or vice versa. The guy will be wacky and killing, and the comics will be like, oh, so hacky. Yeah. You know, because a lot of times they're just, the comics think not in a different level, like height wise, but like in just different ways than an audience does. You know what I'm saying? Like, audience that hasn't seen a million comedy shows will laugh at how crazy airplane food is or how men and women are different. But the comics watch that and they're like, that's not innovative. That's not, you know.
I'm glad you said height-wise because I wouldn't have understood otherwise.
I know. Well, I don't want to say level like comics think on a higher level than, you know what I mean? Height-wise is the wrong word completely.
Yeah,
I'm not good at words. I don't tell words what you'd say contribulant.
What do you mean?
You know what I'm saying?
Whose joke is that? I'm not following. I think that's Erwin Barker's, actually. You know Erwin Barker?
I don't. But I do know my father.
One of the best. Yeah.
I do want to list people I do know. Like, you ever do that? You go into a store and you're like, do you guys have any towels? And they're like, no, but we have these steering wheels. Do you like steering wheels? I like when people do that. Hey, do you know Bob Johnson? No, but I know Steve Johnson. All right, cool. Just
perfect.
As long as you know someone with
then.
Johnson. Yeah. I remember one time I asked a friend of mine, I said, hey, what's Doug's last name? And my friend went, Doug who? And I said, Davis. And he goes, Smith.
Hey, that's almost Stephen Wrightian now.
I know. Well, I slowed it down. Yeah, that's what made it. If I had said that wacky and quick, you would never have said that. You would have been like, is that Gallagher too?
We're going to talk about comics that other comics love. Here's another comic that was in at the festival. Doug Stanhope.
Oh, Doug Stanhope.
Right? I mean, all the comics.
What an important comic that guy is. He's so great. That is just very political, makes a lot of great points, and has something to say, and you leave, you know, sometimes I'll leave his show and be like, oh, what am I doing? Talk about Nintendo. Yeah. You know, this guy makes points and makes you think. So, yeah, definitely enjoy Doug Stanhope.
He did the, not the Nasty Show. He does that in Montreal. He did the Triple X show here.
I saw it.
I saw it Friday night.
Me too.
It finished at 2:45 in the morning.
I know. My poor girlfriend was so tired. She wanted to go home, and then we're walking out, and I'm just such a sucker for wanting to hang out with comics. And we're walking out of the hotel, and one of the comics grabs me. He's like, hey, all the comics are playing poker.
Did you go?
And she's like, it's 3 a.m, you know? And I'm like, baby, but you're so pretty. And, you know, but no, we did not go.
Oh.
But you know what? I got to kiss my girlfriend that night.
Oh, and these guys are just breathing in secondhand smoke.
I know. Those guys are breathing in secondhand smoke, and 9 of them lost money. So,
no, actually, there were 4 winners.
Really? Oh, were you there? Did you play?
No, they had
crap.
No, there was a $50 buy-in.
You would have kissed
table.
me, wouldn't you?
And there was a free table. I went to the free table. And it was just a mockery because everyone's going.
There was really a free table.
Yeah. Well, What's
that? That's like when junior high is like too Christian to have a dance, and then they have their crazy casino night, but it's like not at all. You're sitting there betting Hershey's Kisses.
Well, they had all these dealers, like poker dealers, and they needed to use them because there was only one table with real money.
They had real dealers.
Yeah, they had real dealers with chips.
My girlfriend's holding my hand right now, and she's squeezing it and apologizing to me right now. It's all right, baby. Trust me.
So there was this free table, and so I sit in, and it starts out going well, and then everyone realizes, well, these chips mean nothing. So everybody, no matter what card you had, all in. Okay, you lose your chips. Give me some more chips. And so,
would they buy a new chip? Oh, that's at the free table.
Yeah, it's free.
Man,
it made no
I
sense.
could never go to a free table. That's the worst thing in the world.
Yeah. Kyle with a K. I actually wrote that joke down. I liked it. 9 as in 942.
Oh, thank you.
I thought you said 942. Here you said 947.
I think 947. I think it's 947.
Let me just change that in case I go with it.
Co-op Radio 102.7 FM.
Is that for the review that you wrote it down, or just in case you want to just do my shit?
Yeah.
He goes up.
I go up and do
Hey, you guys notice when your name's Kyle.
Wait a second. How come this isn't working?
Yeah.
Kyle C., what would you have been doing tonight if we hadn't dragged you off the street and said, come do our radio show?
I probably would have been playing poker with Doug Stanhope in a poker game. I'm hoping that game's still going.
Let me squeeze your hand.
Yeah. No, I'm just here for a couple more days visiting my girl and just hanging out. And tonight, just saw Stanhope, or saw the triple Letterman comics, and you were outside. So I would have been just probably chilling at the house, watching a movie or something. But it's nice, man. It's nice to hang out, and I probably would have been drinking. Actually, odds are good. I'm a comedian.
Yeah, unhealthy lifestyle for comics.
It is weird, man. Like every time you do a show, everyone wants to buy you a drink, and if you don't, they're like, act like you're this asshole. Like, oh, come on, just tonight. Well, yeah, but tomorrow night there's another fat guy that has a Who Farted T-shirt wanting me to do this. but No, it's fun. I remember in America, the age is 21, and before I was 21, I tried to drink all the time. But we're much more strict with laws in America than here, and it's funny because I remember
Freest country in the world. How could that be?
Yeah, it's really free. It's awesome. It's so free that gay people can't get married and you can't smoke weed. No, I just remember before I was 21 trying to drink was such a bitch. I would walk into liquor stores with like a top hat and a monocle. Hello, I'm extremely old. 1 large alcohol, please. My ID, why, it decomposed. I'm so old. I could show you my license to operate the cotton gin if you wanted. My fake ID was just my student ID with the word old written on it in crayon, which is not that great.
Did it work for you?
It didn't. Well, no. I mean, sometimes when I had the blind guy, blind Steve, we called him. He wasn't actually blind. We just called him that just in case he wanted to become it. That's not true at all, but if it were true, then it would be. I think that, I think that when you're drunk, by the way, your insults are more creative. I watched a girl go up to a guy in a bar. This is true. This girl went up to a guy and she didn't know him at all. And she goes, "You remind me of Frankenstein." And the guy goes, "Why?" And this is my favorite part. I swear to God. She goes, "'Cause you're just as important." You don't come up with shit like that after a cup of coffee, man. That's an insanely good.
You are important.
You're just as important as Frankenstein. And I was crying all night laughing at that. And then I heard her go, "What? It's a good book." And then I found out she was talking about the book Frankenstein, not the dude, not the monster. I didn't know.
So now this guy reminds her of a book.
This guy, who she didn't know at all, reminds her of the importance of the book Frankenstein. That is so deep and weird.
Like Mary Shelley.
And then later she prank called her ex-boyfriend. This is true too. And she called him and she got his voicemail. And this is the prank she left on his voicemail. She goes, "Hi, this is Diane calling from the hospital. I just want you to know your ex-girlfriend Mia was killed today. She was helping retards and one of them exploded." And then that's a true story. She said that line and I'm in tears because she doesn't even know how funny that is. But then later I knew the guy and he called me and he asked me if this was true.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Greg, exploding retarded people it's a huge epidemic in America. It was so funny, man. It was very surreal.
So do you live an unhealthy life?
You know what? I try to avoid it. I think I used to when I don't know, 22, 23, I'd go through this like, yeah, let's drink, man. And I now find I get way more excitement out of getting back to the hotel room and going to sleep at a decent hour. I used to do that stuff, and I definitely have a good time. I mean, this whole week I've been partying every single night till very late, but like, no, after a while, you just get very, I want to try to, focus on my career too. I want to stay fit. I go to the gym. I work on my Altoids. They're curiously strong. And is there a rule, by the way, that the older you are in the gym and the locker room, the more naked you have to be?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Is that true?
Oh my God.
Like little kids will be fully clothed and they'll be like, "Don't look at me. Why are you?" And then teenagers are just in their underwear. Middle-aged people are always naked, but they'll like hold a towel in front. But old people are just like, "Yeah,
Totally
ta-da!
And
Check it out, bitches."
And drying themselves on the hand dryer.
Yeah.
Like old guys, like
They do
drying
that.
every body
They do
part
that,
on those hand dryers.
They do that, and then you'll get in the sauna and they're sitting there with their legs in like 2 different time zones. Take your towel off; it's hot in here. Why don't you put 4 on?
They stand there in conversation about anything, completely naked. Stand there. Do they do this in the women's locker room? I don't know.
Yeah, do they? My girlfriend's here, ladies and gentlemen. By the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, they do. Wow.
Do they really?
She's not on mic.
But they don't
so
have
we're
what we have. Like
That's right.
Because like the old guys in the locker room, the problem is time has happened. So there's more. You know what I mean? It's like lean forward and you got a tripod. You know what I mean? It's like I don't want to see that oldie McOlderton from Oldville. That's what I call old people. All of them.
All of them, just like that.
Yeah, like
Your
my grandma. Wow, yeah.
Hey.
My grandma loves Scrabble, by the way. Here's my family, by the way. My name's Kyle. My mom, Bambi, had me. My mom, her name's not Bambi. We just call her that because she's a stripper and her mom was killed by a hunter. But she had me. I'm Kyle. I have a brother named Kevin. And then my aunt had Lyle and Devin. Seriously.
Kyle, Lyle, and Devin.
Yeah, and well, you know how your grandparents could never tell you anything unless they named everyone else in the family before they hit your name? My grandpa would be like, "And that's why we have plutonium, Devin, Lyle, Kevin, Aunt Peggy, Grandma B, Ringo, Paul, Skeletor, the number 7, Corn, you the fat one with the dimples." Which pissed me off because I only have 1 dimple. See?
Yeah, I do.
I do.
Yeah.
That's proof. But my grandma likes to whip out the Scrabble board. What's with grandmas and Scrabble? She loves to play, and her vocabulary is like way gooder. When I play, I have all vowels, right? It's like A, O, A, O. I'm scrambling the shit up. A, yo. I'll have nothing. And then she'll have some word I haven't even heard of on the triple word score that's all Q's and X's and Z's. I haven't even heard of the word. She'll just be like, Quizlix. Bam! I'm like, Grandma, that's not a word. And she's right there with the dictionary. Look it up, asshole. You know, my grandma's very competitive. And then you look it up, and it's like, Quizlix, a group of quizzles. So I'm like, what the hell's a quizzle, right? And then you go back to quizzle, one of a set of Quizlix. I'm like, this is bullshit. Have you ever had it when you're...
She wrote the dictionary.
Yeah. She turns out, it's all in pen. It's in crayon and like way too maroon lipstick. That's funny. We need to remember that. Now, do you ever have it when you're losing to someone in Scrabble and they try to help you? That's like have you ever had that? That's like the most condescending shit ever. You don't know what to do, and they start hovering over the board. They're like, well, let's take a look. Do you have an O? Because if you did, you could put go here. Oh.
I never thought of that.
Yeah. Do you happen to have a PHALAN? Do you happen to have all that? Because if you did, you could put phalanx, and this X are made from Quizlix. You don't have it, do you, bitch? Grandma, quit swearing at me.
My dad used to help me in chess, so he'd end up beating himself. I'd just sit there. He'd go, oh, no, move this over here. I go, okay, that's good.
And he'd be like, oh, you got me. You're like asleep on the couch. You're not even there.
That's right.
You're upstairs drinking. Yeah, he still does this right now. You're like here. Oh, you got me. And you're like, well, this isn't cute at all. This is tragic.
Now, on stage, you're this high energy guy. Are you like this? Is he like this all the time? No. Yeah, throw that mic over.
Yeah. No, when he comes off stage.
Oh, now the mic just fell out. Oh, now nothing works.
Is it not testing?
Oh, no. Oh, we broke
Oh, what'd you do? Oh, my God.
This mic only
Oh,
works-
now it works. It only works for
It
men.
only works in a stand. I didn't know your wiring.
Your voice is too high. It doesn't pick up.
The other one's on now, too.
Is this one on?
Yeah, they both should be on.
Close.
Is it working?
Right up on it.
No, it's not.
You got to be right up on it.
She's saying that.
No. Oh, well, you had
try
your
it, try it.
You had your
Try it.
chance.
No, it's working. It's working. It's working, yeah.
Hello. Oh, there we
baby.
go.
Okay.
Hi,
Hi, everybody. What's your name?
Jessica.
Jessica.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, so is he this high energy off stage?
He can be. It depends on the mood. Sometimes he's just jumping up and down, and that's kind of annoying. But he, it gets down right after a set. He's very energetic, just because of the adrenaline from the show. But
Yeah.
But after a murder,
yeah.
I'm kind of crabby.
after a murder or
Yeah.
two,
Yeah.
Depressing.
kind of calms down.
She knows me completely, so she definitely has experienced every level of me, with my
we met
this-
like yesterday. So.
Yeah, actually, what's your last name? It's nice to meet you, by the way. You're very hot. We should do that sex thing. You should see her.
I am?
Not that way, but
Oh.
you should see her. Well, you are now, but if you weren't seeing her, then you wouldn't be.
Yeah.
No, but she's awesome. You know why I like this girl right here is she's the first girl I've ever dated that when she talks about me in third person, she doesn't give me dumb voice.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
how girls do that?
Yeah.
Like they'll give this guy this fictional dumb voice that they don't have at all. So I told him I don't even have time to go to the bowling alley, and then he's all no. I'm like, that's a terrible argument. You had such a thought out point, and then he was retarded. Like you win. You know what I mean? So if she and I ever have an argument now, I just always go so that when her friends are like, "Did he really say that?" She can be like, "Yeah, he did."
Yes, he did. Yeah, but your train of thought. Now, how much do you go off book, shall we say, in your act?
You know what I'd say my act is? I'd say I have about 3 hours of set material, jokes that I've written.
Gold.
3 hours of jokes that I like. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I'll write and I'll be like, I'll try it once, and then like tell me if you like this. I'm trying to come up with
Okay.
it. This is a real testing.
We
of
have
a joke.
power, Kevin.
Okay, here's my girlfriend and I. We're at a restaurant the other day.
I love it.
And we hear this. I just think that Latino people are awesome because they switch languages in the middle of them talking. Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah.
Like I hear this girl next to me and she's like, "Un cuarto, and I'm like, "Damn, bitch!" And I'm like, "Wow, why don't we ever do that?" You know what I mean?
Because we're stupid.
I think it's good to see you tonight, and you look so good. And when I look at you, and your hat.
And what language was that?
I went from English to pig,
Oh,
and then back to
pig.
English
I
again.
thought it was like dinosaur. I thought it was raptor.
Raptor's good. I speak a lot of Raptor.
Do you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it was part alien too.
Oh yeah.
Did you know, by the way, you can get a star named after you?
Yes, I did know that.
Don't you think America's getting cocky that we think we can call dibs on naming stuff in the galaxy?
Yeah.
You know, that's America's policy. You can now get a star. We don't own any of that. That means one day an alien will land on this planet and we'll be like, dude, you flew here all the way from Dave. And like the alien will be like, what do you mean? I'm from Klimtor or some shit. And we'll be like, no, dude, it's Dave. I saw you come from it. And the alien's like, I would know, asshole, because I'm from there. And then the American Indians go up to the alien like, don't listen to them. They don't care. You know, because we took their land. And we're going to take the aliens' land.
Yeah.
So see how I did that? I did a joke right there that I didn't like, and then I went to a greatest hit to get out of it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I'm like, nah, you're right. This pig shit isn't working yet. Here's my alien joke. And I totally segued it by being like, yeah, what is it, aliens that talk that way? What's with aliens? They're like Maury Povich. Here's my Maury Povich joke. No.
Yeah, how do you even know if which star is yours? You can't. That one over
it's
there.
like that. I don't know. It's
You
bright.
get a map, I think.
It's bright.
Get off my star.
Get off my star, you damn satellite. I'm calling the government.
Kyle Cease is our guest. He's a comedian, as you may have noticed. He's been here all week at the Can West Comedy Fest, and maybe because you know he's got a girl up here, maybe he'll be back.
Well, there is talk right now of. I mean, I shouldn't. Because I don't have it yet, but because there was a scheduling conflict so far. But there's a good chance I'll be doing the whole New Year's weekend at Yuck Yucks.
Excellent.
Which would be unbelievable. And if that's the case, please come to that show because I promise you, it will be such a party and such a good time.
Yeah.
I really love Yuck Yucks a lot. They are.
That's a nice club. It's a nice club, low ceiling, good.
Really
Hot
good
crowd.
people, really good crowds. The acoustics are great, and you. It's so funny. These people, people don't realize when they're going to a movie, and like half the movies out suck now anyway, and some of them are like just all remakes of stuff. You know what I mean? Like there's no movies out that are original. It's just Willy Wonka again and Dukes of Hazzard
another
again.
Teen movie.
Not another teen movie. Yeah, wouldn't that be weird if they remade that? Johnny Depp just plays a weird version of everyone in the. But no, they have all these things. But for the same price, you can go see live comedy. And when you see comics on TV, that's fun. But when you're in that crowd, you're part of it. I mean, you're really doing something, and it's so fun to see a live comedy show.
It's completely different. You could see someone
totally
on TV and go, yeah, they're all right. You see them live, they're fantastic.
It's such a different story. You don't understand. Yeah, when you watch a show on TV, it's not the same as when you see a comic live. You're part of it. You know. I mean, well, it's the same thing of listening to a tape of a band or going to see them in concert.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Oh, sometimes I like listening to them on CD.
Yeah, definitely.
That was a nice. You were doing your pig again.
What's that? I know,
as we
man.
came
I
out on
can't.
the
You know, excuse me for doing that. I've got a
That's
little
all right.
sniffles, man. It's so hard. I'm in a new city every day, so it's just different weather, different, all that stuff. So
And you're going back to LA in a couple days,
I go to LA Tuesday. Yeah,
where it's always summer.
it is always summer. That's why I think a comic does this joke. I can't remember who it is, but he says LA weathermen have the best job ever. They get like $1 million a year to be like, nice.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, nice.
But do you like it down there?
Yeah, I really love it there, man. It's a cool place because every night it's like, what should we do for fun? Should we go to a comedy club or should we go to Disneyland or the beach or Vegas or the Tonight Show or you know what I mean? It's a lot of good entertainment, a lot of fun. You're close to everything. I mean, it's really fun. I love where I live. My life is going well, man.
It certainly is.
This year stuff's hitting.
And if you come back New Year's Eve, we'll have to have you back on.
Oh, I would love to come see you guys again. I'll come out the week before so I can come on before I do the show. As opposed to like, hey, you missed him.
Yeah, exactly. That's good. Yeah. We got a caller. Ann is on the line. Are you there, Ann?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your question? Oh, turn your radio down.
Oh.
I love to say that. Makes
You
me
mean
sound
you don't
like-
want reverb?
That's right.
I love reverb.
Well, here you go. I hate to appear stupid, but I was laughing at the pie joke, and after a few seconds I kind of thought, what am I laughing at, when I realized I didn't get it.
Oh, thank you. Well, then that makes me kind of good, doesn't it? Because like I don't even have to make sense to you, and you're having fun.
Was it just the rhythm of the joke? You knew that was the punchline, so you were laughing.
You don't get the joke.
Well, when you said 3 as in pi, I was thinking, oh, pi r squared, ha 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 ha.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I was saying, like, the joke is...
Yeah, 9 is in 928.
Yeah.
I got
And
that
40,
part
yeah.
of it. And then
4 is
3.
in 47, and then 3, 1 is in 16, which is funny because you don't picture 1. And then there's that 3
Wait
is
a minute.
in...
1 is in 16.
Yeah, because the 16 is actually a 1 and then a 6.
Yeah.
So right
Oh.
there, that makes the 16 part.
Oh, I guess I just thought that was so obvious that
The
it
what?
wasn't funny because obviously 1 is in 16.
1 is in 16, yeah. But for some reason, when you had the rhythm of 9 is in 947, and then you go 1, you would expect me to be like 1 is in 142 or
Right.
something like that.
Oh,
But it kind
okay.
of makes you think a little more if you're like 1 is in 16, because they're like 1 is 16 would start with
course
a 1,
16
of course.
starts with 1.
And then you go 3 as in pi. Yeah, I'm saying 3 as in 3.149 blah 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 blah. But
Well, you see, I was thinking pi r squared, and then I was thinking, why
but
is
pi r
3
squared,
pi r squared?
pi r squared is just a longer version of pi. Like
It's still
Which is just
3.1415.
okay,
R
the
squared.
light bulb just went on.
Excellent. We're glad.
so what
I
part
haven't
of
been
what
in school for many years.
what part of Dayton, Ohio are you from?
The southeast corner.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a
ooh.
good corner.
Yeah.
That's one of the best corners of Dayton, Ohio.
Where are you calling from, by the way?
Right here in the city.
Oh, right downtown?
Vancouver.
I got
Right.
scared when she started with right here. I was like looking under the table.
East of,
She's like, right here, Kyle, look
east
in
of
your pocket.
Granville. East of Granville.
Well, I hope Kyle cleared things up for you.
Okay, like I say, I finally got it.
Yeah, that's
Actually,
good.
the second half of this show is going to be me explaining all the shit, so it's going to be good.
Good.
If anyone didn't have a Nintendo, we'll be taking calls at 12:10. Nintendo's the subject.
And did you see any of the comedy festival?
I'm afraid not.
Oh, you should get out.
Well, next
Yeah,
year.
you know what?
Well, not now, but
I should get out more.
well, yeah, come out to the
yes.
comedy, and when Kyle's here in New Year's Eve, maybe,
New Year's Eve,
maybe.
And sit in
Maybe
the
I'll
front
be better
row.
at getting jokes.
And just sit in the front row and raise your hand, and I'll just kind of lean forward and be like, "Pie is also a delicious treat you can eat."
I could put my hand up and say, "I'd like that. So nice to meet you. I'm, Anne is in pie."
Anne is in pie. Definitely. I think
Excellent.
pie often starts with Anne. Definitely.
Well, Anne pie.
You could be like, I'm Anne as in Anne Heche. And I'd be like,
I knew an Anne Pan
oh.
because she was sweet and dear like
No, I know
Peter
Mary
Pan.
Smith.
So everybody called her Anne Pan.
Hey,
People call me that back in Nam, when I fought in Nam.
Kyle Pan.
I didn't actually fight in Nam. When I say fought, I mean ate breakfast. And when I say in Nam, I meant in my kitchen.
and we got to run.
And
But
you own that restaurant, do you?
Yes.
Well, you own that
Noam-
restaurant.
The Noam restaurant.
Yeah. That's
sure.
another thing that happened.
No, we got another.
Now we got,
Sorry, didn't mean to fly one over your head.
Oh, no. You know, I totally didn't understand it, but you cleared it up for me. Thank you.
see?
Now he
Thank you
gets
for
it.
letting me call in.
thanks for calling, Ann.
One good explanation deserves another.
Great.
Great.
You're wonderful, Anne. Thank you very
Thanks
much.
a lot. Really funny show tonight.
Thank
Thanks,
you very
Anne.
much. I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Okay, bye.
And somebody else is calling in, but I don't think we have time, do we, Kevin?
No, we are
I wanna
out of
take it.
time.
Oh, if only we could go long, but we can't. Sorry about that, caller. Kyle Cease has been.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
It was
thanks
a
for
good
walking
time.
out of the show when I was walking out.
Yeah, and yeah, KyleCease.com if you don't mind plugging it again for anyone that's
Are you even on? Are you even on the air? I don't know. Yeah, KyleCease.com. I will definitely check it. I'll download some of your
there's
bits
some-
and I'll
some
play
good
it.
clips. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
The coverage is good. I have a new CD coming out in stores too. So
Oh, really?
yeah, it'll be called One Dimple. Comedy Central, America's Comedy Network is putting it out, but it'll be in stores out here too and stuff.
Excellent. Thank you, Kyle Cease.
Thank you so much.
Then next week, our guest will be the return of Richard Lett. Oh, he was one of the most talked about shows last year. He's coming back next year, so tune into that from 11 to midnight here on What's So Funny. Talk to you then.